Greetings. This is Dr. Della Welch again. We're concluding the lecture and the question and answer on Immanuel Kant. By way of review, remember Kant was in the Enlightenment period. And remember, he was born poor. Some of our philosophers were born rich. Some of them were born poor. He did not become a full professor until he was in his 50s. And that's kind of significant. He was a pessimist. He was negative. He wanted to replace religion with reason. And one very important part, he said never treat people as mere means to an end, but as ends in themselves. And that is similar to Jesus, who taught, love thy neighbor, love one another, treat people with justice. If you've ever read any of the books of Kant, they're very difficult to read, and yet he was one of the great thinkers of our time. Now to return to our question and answer, Kant claimed that everyone has intrinsic value and everyone has a right not to be used as an end, as a means to an end, but as an end in themselves. And that is true. Per Kant, there is a need to treat people as A, ends, B, means, C, not too trusting. The answer is ends, not to treat them as means to an end. Suppose you go to a government office and you see a clerk there. Well, many times people are treating the clerk just as a means to the end to get their documents processed and not being respectful and courteous and complimenting them on how nicely they look. Which philosopher developed the categorical imperative? A. Kant, B. Mill. The answer would be Kant. And one thing very important about the categorical imperative and deontology is to be able to distinguish that from Mill and utilitarianism. Because utilitarianism looked at which option created the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. So that's very different than deontology. Next, Kant was born to a financially struggling family. That is true, and he never left home very much. He probably traveled within 100 miles of his home, but he stayed mainly home. A person is moral if he acts from a sense of duty, per Kant. True, duty was very important. Consequences do not determine what is right and wrong, per Kant. That is true. Kant claimed that we should do the right thing for the right reason, and that is true. If you wanted to save a dog from drowning, it wouldn't be just for the reward. It would be because that's the right thing to do to help a young child with their animal. Kant claimed decisions should not be based on emotions, but based on reason, per Kant, and that is true. Duty is more important than desire, and that is true. We know that many people have great desires, but fewer have the duty, and they sense the duty. Kant saw things as black or white, or absolute. He did not believe in gray areas. That's true. I saw a cartoon at one time, and it showed bats saying no gray areas. So it's either absolutely right or wrong. So this will be the conclusion of our lecture on Kant. Be sure and review the questions and the lecture concepts.